Someone will disturb the peace. Meet the cellar spider. Its thin, pole-like limbs make it look somewhat fragile, even weak. But nothing's further from the truth.
The cellar spiders are actually pretty good at killing other spiders. They don't necessarily specialize on killing other spiders, but they're really good at it when they get the chance.
Cellar spiders prefer to operate under cover of darkness, and they're not picky about where.
You can find cellar spiders everywhere. Corners of houses, protected areas, near trees. They build these kind of rough webs relatively high.
From their hidden vantage points, they pick off passing prey. Small or large, it makes no difference. And those spindly legs, with their multiple sections, have the clearance of a monster truck and are as nimble as high-speed knitting needles.
Their legs are long and lean and effective for keeping everything at arm's length.
They can immobilize rivals from a safe distance by wrapping them in silk before moving in for the kill. Their fangs are tiny, but pack mean venom. But before they can use their fangs, they have to catch their prey. In the shadows, this cellar spider installs more sticky silk. It won't rely on an intricate web, just the basics. Enough to ambush the unwary. Elsewhere on the rocky outcrop, another spider prepares for action. Compared to the cellar spider, she's a bruiser. The white-tailed spider.
The white-tailed spider is a wandering assassin. This deadly stalker lurks in the shadows.
The white-tail is a master spider killer. She's 3 times the weight of the cellar spider. In Spiderland, she's a super heavyweight fighter. Even a night-stalking commando like the wolf spider can be overpowered in an instant.
The white-tailed spider's main weapon is surprise. It rushes out of the shadows to deliver a fatal bite.
The whitetail pumps digestive juices through her victims, then sucks them dry. Few spiders walk away from the whitetail. Would a delicate cellar spider take on a super heavyweight? You'd be surprised.
I don't think the whitetail has a chance.
These are the shadowlands of the bug world, hidden places where dirty deeds are done under cover of darkness. This white-tailed spider is looking for an easy kill. She's checking out a rock ledge. That happens to be a cellar spider's home. And the delicate homeowner will defend its territory to the death, no matter how huge the invader. The cellar spider starts a war dance.
One of the things that cellar spiders do to avoid being attacked by predators is they swirl on their legs. Another thing that they might do is pump up and down, and they disappear because they're moving so fast they become invisible.
The whitetail isn't so easily fooled. She holds her ground. Conflict is inevitable.
For the whitetail spider, it's all about getting the first bite in.
But the cellar spider moves first. It flicks the whitetail onto its web. The whitetail tries to regain its footing. But the cellar spider goes into silk spinning overdrive. From a safe distance, its legs lasso the whitetail 6 times every second. But the whitetail is strong. She keeps breaking free. Cellar spider's silk isn't the strongest, nor stickiest in the spider world, but there's a lot of it. And every throw counts. Hundreds of silk ropes entangle the whitetail. In a desperate last effort, she tries to slash her way to freedom with her huge fangs.
The whitetail spider will use its fangs to cut through the silk. If it can get out, it'll run for its life.
But the cellar spider counters, hoisting her victim higher. It's spinning too much silk, and the whitetail's jaws may not be enough. Thousands of silk ropes finally immobilize the whitetail. Enough for the cellar spider to move in for the kill. It delivers its deadly payload and leaves the venom to do its work. A delicate spinner outguns a big brute. And the Shadowlands are quiet once more. But they won't be for long. It's power versus patience. In the depths of an equatorial jungle, a million-strong colony of leafcutter ants is busy farming the rainforest. Each worker focused on the production of fungus.
Leafcutter ants are really the farmers of the animal world. They cut vegetation that they then grow fungus on. So the ants actually live off of the fungus, not the plants.
They might be peaceful, but you aggravate these agrarian ants at your peril. At the first sign of trouble, you find yourself face to face with a leafcutter soldier.
There's got to be constant guarding of the colony so that they don't get attacked, both foraging lines and the colony itself. You don't mess with a leafcutter ant soldier.
These hulking warrior ants dwarf the workers. Their bodies are protected by tough armor. The massive bulbous head supports some of the ant world's most fearsome weapons. Strong, hardened mandibles, powerful enough to pierce human skin, crush and slice.
Look at those mandibles. They really act like chainsaws. If you want a leaf cut up, you call a worker. If you want another animal cut up, you call the soldier.
A party of invading trapjaw ants has ventured too far into leafcutter territory. Workers alert the troops.
leafcutter ants make a surprising diversity of sounds and vibrations that they use to communicate among themselves by rubbing various body parts together.
Dispatched to deal with the interlopers, the leafcutter soldier launches a withering attack. Its enormous mandibles clamp down.
Although the soldier is wiggling its abdomen around, it doesn't have formic acid, it doesn't have a sting. However, its mandibles are so strong that it's literally able to take control of the situation.
Ordinarily, trapjaws are ferocious fighters, but against the soldiers, they don't stand a chance. Intruders are systematically torn apart.
As you can see, cutting this trapjaw ant in half was no more trouble than the workers cutting leaves in half.
Trapjaw body parts litter the leaves. It's an awesome display of brute strength and single-minded savagery. But not every fighter in this neck of the woods relies on size and raw power. Small and delicate, the speckled house spider seems like an unlikely serial killer.
You might think that something called a house spider isn't up to the task of surviving in a forest full of dangerous creatures. But let me tell you, this spider is more than capable of surviving encounters that would send others home in tears.
This relative of the black widow and redback is built for life on the web. Her long, spindly legs are agile enough to navigate her silken web like a tightrope walker. The speckled house spider is a sit-and-wait predator, happy just to hang at home and let her untidy web do all the work.
It might look like the result of lousy housekeeping, but that chaotic tangle of lines is actually a very effective way of catching prey. It's extremely strong and also laced with lots of globules of liquid silk, so that anything that ventures onto the web or even brushes a single trip line can quickly find itself entangled and in a fight for its life.
Before her next hunt begins, she decides to change for dinner, slipping out of her skin into something more comfortable.
The spider's hardened outer skin is literally an external skeleton, and because it doesn't stretch while she grows, she may shed it 5 to 7 times throughout her life. This process is called ecdysiasm. In a lot of ways, it's almost like a rebirth. However, it leaves the spider in a temporarily vulnerable and defenseless position.
It will take a while for her new skin to harden, but the speckled house spider had better be ready. The leafcutter ant soldier, fresh from its victory over the trapjaw ant, is on its way. What happens when the mighty warrior and the silky assassin get caught in a web of intrigue?
Granted, she's probably not going to be in a hurry to get too close, but if he stumbles onto her web, he's going to be in for a rude shock.
A leafcutter ant soldier, alone on patrol, is just inches away from a speckled house spider's silken trap. One false step, and there will be war. The leafcutter ant soldier has size and strength, with powerful mandibles to cut and crush. The speckled house spider uses silk and venom to overcome the enemy. Which strategy will prevail? The leafcutter soldier suddenly finds itself in a sticky situation.
We already know that this soldier can cut an opponent in two. But when she's gotten caught in this web, she's really on shaky ground.
The speckled house spider doesn't move. With an intruder this large and dangerous, she's happy to play the waiting game. The ant tries to chew through its bonds, but succeeds only in becoming more entangled. Finally, choosing her moment, the spider descends and starts throwing thread.
Whatever she does, the house spider must avoid those jaws. Just one snip could open her up like a bursting water balloon.
Then, moving incautiously, she delivers a toxic kiss, narrowly avoiding the ant's slashing jaws. But this battle isn't over. Prey this large will need more than one dose. Again and again, the spider dances with death, ducking the gnashing mandibles to inject more venom. She retreats and waits again. Killing time while her potent chemical cocktail finishes off this soldier of misfortune. In a monster bug war, no matter how formidable your weapons, it pays to fight battles on your own turf.
You know, I think this is just a classic case of the bigger they are, the harder they fall. End of story.
Versus the stealth of another. In mythology, the ogre is a terrifying monster. Cruel, brutal, and hideous. But in the bug world, this monster is no myth.
Ogre-faced spiders are about as neat as spiders come. Their middle posterior eyes, so their posterior median eyes, are huge.
Most spiders have 8 eyes, but poor vision. The ogre-faced spider has military-grade optics that turn night into day.
They're outstanding at collecting light at night so that they see very, very well in darkness. Their vision at night is far better than cats and better than owls.
That's extremely bad news for passing prey. But even more astonishing is the ogre-face's weaponry.
And what these spiders do that is absolutely unique in the animal kingdom is they build a very, very specialized web.
Hanging from a threadbare silk scaffold, the ogre-faced spider starts weaving a weapon. An expandable net that traps the unsuspecting in the blink of an eye. It flings it over its prey like a gladiator, casting a deadly net.
When they actually attack something, they're going down just incredibly fast and then releasing the web, and it contracts. It is fascinating to watch.
The ultrafine net is created with the skill of an expert weaver.
They make it in their back legs, is you see them combing. They've got a comb on their fourth leg, and you see them combing out silk very fast. I often think of it as hair that has been teased up, and the silk looks something like that.
Holding the tightly woven net in its four front legs, the ogre-faced spider silently sets up a vigil for whatever flies by or passes below. Equally fascinating, every bit as silent and deadly, is the assassin bug.
Watching the assassin bug move is like watching a Shaolin kung fu master walking across rice paper. Gentle, silent, careful. Not a single mark, not even the most minute noise. No wonder it's called the assassin bug.
Its weapon of choice is part long, sucking mouth, part syringe for injecting venom.
The assassin bug stabs its prey using this long beak-like structure called a rostrum. But with the rostrum, it has additional microstructures called stylids. And what they do is they open up small tears inside the prey, which facilitates the venom flowing in.
The assassin bug feeds on any insect it can catch. It's even been known to skewer bats and humans. But it doesn't rely just on its rostrum. It has antennae as long as its body, which gather intel on the grasshopper it's silently stalking. It also plays smart. It imitates a wafting breeze.
The assassin bug is being very clever here. As it gets quite close to the prey, it makes its footsteps bouncy and irregular, creating the kind of normal environmental background noise produced by a breeze.
And then, with its prey within reach, it does something very odd for a master stalker. It reaches out with an antenna.
Assassin bugs have a peculiar habit of using their antenna to gently tap their prey a few times before stabbing them. It's a poorly understood phenomenon. We don't know if it's to confuse the prey or even somehow to hypnotize them, but this is what they do.
Whatever the reason, it works. The prey doesn't suspect a thing. Then it struck. The assassin bug's rostrum spears the grasshopper's back. Deadly venom floods its body.
The paralyzing action of the venom takes effect in 3 to 5 seconds. At this point in time, the limbs are unable to move. After about 15 seconds, it is completely paralyzed, even though it's still alive. Prey is sitting there immobilized. Other chemicals that the assassin bug is pumped in is now digesting it even while it's alive. By the time the assassin bug is done, 40 to 60% will have been sucked out as a liquid lunch.
As darkness descends, a deadly net and a venomous spear will soon become the weapons of choice in a forest as black and as ominous as the grave. Two Bug World gladiators are about to do battle. One armed with a spear that pierces flesh with ease, and the other with a fast-release net that can finish a fight before it begins. As the spider hovers, the assassin bug closes in. moving ever so slowly from leaf to branch. The two deadly foes converge in the darkness. The assassin bug needs to get past the net to strike a blow. It tugs on the web, but a foot gets caught. In one swift movement, the Ogre-faced flings down the net and scoops its victim into a treacherous tangle of silk.
What it will do is it will grab it up, wrap it up with more and more silk, so there's no chance that the assassin bug is able to get its piercing mouth parts out. There's nothing that the assassin bug can do that's going to hurt the ogre-faced spider.
The ogre wraps quickly while keeping her distance. The assassin bug stretches its legs to break free of the death shroud. It's too late. With the deadly rostrum safely encased in silk, the ogre-faced moves in for the kill. The would-be assassin takes a hit of paralyzing venom. Death is seconds away. But the ogre-faced spider ignores the formalities. It's already feeding on the body fluids of the vanquished. It's brains versus brawn. In the bug world, take nothing for granted. Shape-shifting assassins can appear anywhere. With long, spindly legs and an elongated body, the ogre-faced spider does a perfect twig impression.
During the day, when the ogre-faced spider isn't actually hunting, they hang in the grass. They have their legs extended, so they look like a twig or grass, and they're trying to avoid looking like something that's edible.
Camouflage isn't the spider's only weapon. When night falls, the ambush predator starts knitting.
The ogre-faced spider has something that's absolutely unique in the animal kingdom. They build a web that they literally throw over their prey. This web is almost like a gladiator throwing out a net and capturing its prey.
Hanging upside down in midair, tiny claws clinging to silken guy ropes. The ogre-faced spider waits, ready to spread her deadly picnic blanket. The ogre's eyesight can pinpoint almost any target, even in darkness. Two of its 8 eyes are like night vision goggles, giving this nocturnal hunter better night vision than even owls or cats. Nearby, an army is on the march. Nomadic, carnivorous, voracious. An army ant colony is a terrifying force. Within this deadly swarm, the most powerful of all are the soldiers. These special ops bugs are bred for war.
Army ant swarms are giant, precisely coordinated military machines. And the soldier ants are its attack dogs, except in ant terms, they're about the size of horses.
Soldier ants are built for attack. Large heads support the biggest mandibles in the ant world. Curved like fish hooks with razor-sharp points, they spear and crush. At the other end, a needle-like sting delivers paralyzing venom and repeated stabs.
The army ant sting is very potent, but it isn't used all the time. Often just the mandibles are enough for the bullying business. But if an opponent fights back, then the stinger is used like a taser set to kill.
Even alone, army ant soldiers are fierce opponents. This giant ground spider seems like an invincible foe. But the army ant soldier has superior one-on-one tactics. It latches onto the back of the spider's abdomen.
The muscles in the soldier's head are so strong, it's almost impossible to get those jaws open once they've clamped down on something. The soldier ant can even be torn in half, and he won't let go.
The spider tries to dislodge its opponent, but its fangs can't reach back far enough. The ant stinger's toxic venom paralyzes the spider's muscles and nerves. It's a great meal for the colony. But what happens when the lone warrior confronts the master netcaster?
Other predators are understandably hesitant to mess with a army ant soldier. This ogre-faced spider is more than willing to entangle.
On the rainforest floor, a lost army ant soldier trying to find its battalion strays into the drop zone of an ogre-faced spider. The spider attacks with its gladiatorial net and toxic venom. The army ant fights with its terrifying mandibles and paralyzing sting. Who will emerge the victor? The soldier ant wanders into dangerous territory. The spider's huge eyes are trained on the approaching target. The net first scoops up the huge mandibles, disabling the ant's primary weapon. But a soldier ant isn't any bug. It's special ops. There'll be no surrender.
This army ant has strong sickle-like jaws. It's got a powerful sting. It could do real damage to the ogre-faced spider.
Despite being wrapped up, the army ant can still land a lethal sting. It waits for its opportunity. The spider, too, is choosing its moment. It takes a chance. One bite through the silk sends venom coursing through the ant's body. This soldier's fighting days are over. Its innards are turned to mush and sucked out. All that's left is a shrink-wrapped shell. One more casualty in a never-ending bug war. Neighborhood will never be the same. This log has become a sort of bug housing estate. Residents come and go. Visitors drop by, get eaten. Suburban life goes on.
Sometimes you'll have several animals sitting in very close proximity to each other, where it's a bit of a standoff. I can kill you, you can kill me, who's gonna make the first move?
This redback is tolerating a neighboring brown house spider. They're actually biological cousins. but keep to themselves, even though it's hard to tell whose web is whose.
And they'd be aware of each other by vibrations in the web. And so they'd be threatening one another with vibratory threats so that the other spider would know that they were there. But if one of the spiders didn't back off, definitely a situation where conflict might occur.
The redback has snared a beetle, 10 times her own weight. The superpowered silk is extruded from spinnerets mounted on the redback's posterior. Her web is one of the stickiest and strongest in the spider business. If it was scaled up to the thickness of climbing rope, it could snare a jumbo jet in flight. Next door, a brown house spider has her hands full. She's landed a supersized meal with a dangerous kick. Like the redback, she combines a sticky web with fast wrapping.
It sets up trap lines in its lair. Once detected, it'll drop down and attack with a barrage of silk.
Her fangs are small and deliver powerful venom. But this time, she may have bitten off more than she can chew. Another neighbor, a fellow brown house, thinks the grasshopper is in her web. It's a neighborhood dispute that's about to turn ugly.
You've got spiders, they're eating the same prey and are competing for food in a relatively small space. And at some point, these animals are going to come in conflict.
Neither brown house has any intention of backing down. The neighbor moves first and starts a wrapping frenzy. Not only has she lost her meal, the original brown house is now losing her life as she's bound and gagged at her own dinner party. A deadly bite seals the deal.
One brown house spider has just killed another one, even though they're the same animal. But this is not unusual in nature. Fratricide or cannibalism is quite common. Just because you're related doesn't mean you're not dinner.
But the neighborhood dispute is about to escalate as the redback from next door joins the fray.
Given that they're close to one another, this face-off is going to end in the death of one of these spiders. But which one? That's up to chance.
Inside a crowded log, two brown house spiders went to war over dinner. Now, one's a meal herself. But hostilities aren't over yet. A neighbor from across the street, a redback, has decided to join in. She has a web nearby, and she's just breached an invisible wall. The brown house has a new problem.
Pretty much, this is a totally even matchup. Both have the same equipment. You know, they both have silk at their disposal. They both have venom at their disposal. They both have sticky webs. It really is who happens to get the edge, who happens to wrap up the other one faster.
The neighborhood fight is about to get even nastier. On the world's stickiest tightrope. Each spider tries to stay clear of the other's spinning legs. The first to start their rap of death wins. They're so evenly matched, the tiniest false move will spell disaster. The redback puts 1 foot wrong. She's stuck. Seizing her chance, the brown house spins furiously, wrapping her opponent's legs.
The brown house spider's most deadly weapon is its silk. It has these long, combed legs that it can use to throw it forward like a deadly crochet.
With all her strength, the redback can't break free. She's cocooned alive.
The brown house spider's fangs are very small, so it'll only bite once the prey is firmly secured with the silk.
The brown house has already had her appetizer. The redback makes a tasty entree. Now the neighborhood bruiser sits back and waits for dessert to come by.